Namaste. Welcome back to Top Tarot Miners. And today is about the Three of Pentacles. And today I decided I'm going to go in a bit of a different direction. I have a selection of pip cards and a couple of cards with humans in them. And I thought we could look at some of the subtle differences among these cards. And let's begin with the wild. Actually, this is the Lumina Tarot. I was going to say this is the wild unknown. This is the Lumina Tarot. And over here is the wild unknown. So the Lumina Tarot builds on the energy of the Two of Pentacles, where we often see two interlocking circles. They could be two interlocking pentacles. Sometimes you may see a lemniscate, an Ouroboros. And I really love the connection of the many layers in this particular artwork. So we do see the formation of a triangle, so two becomes three. But we also see that the seed has sprouted, and we have this first completion. And the piece that really resonates with me is the layering of the ace and the two and the three in this particular image. I think it's really powerful. The one that is below it, the Wild Unknown Tarot, does something a little bit different. And I do want to look at the Asherah and the Tarot of the Ozarks. There's quite a few here where we can discuss this. The shape of the triangle. So generally speaking, an upward facing triangle has an active energy. It is associated with masculinity, with the blade, with the element of fire. It is a strong energy. You could say a building energy, whereas the downward facing triangle or the cup is associated with receptive energy. And there's a really interesting conversation in the Wild Unknown between the strength of the mountain in the background, and there is a sense of illumination around the mountain as well, too. Something is clearing. And in the foreground, the cup shape of the three pentacles with three primary colors connecting the three. And there's something here about, so three we can connect, of course, to the Empress. And in general, that of the strength of a building and a creative and growing energy. And when things begin to grow, I would think of the upward facing triangle, something sprouting from the ground. I'll look at that in more detail in the Crystal Tarot. But this conversation here, this relationship between receptive and active energy, is very much a part of what's going on here. And I think this is a beautiful conversation to have as well, too, in terms of the Empress, who does stand in her own power, and yet she holds that strength in a different way than the Emperor does. So this is really something. And in case you're not seeing it, right, the mountain is an upward facing triangle, and the pentacles themselves form a receptive triangle. Perhaps the Three of Discs in the Asherah Tarot can be talked about alongside the Robin Wood and the Druid Craft. I'm quite certain some years ago I do have a comparison series on my channel, and I think this discussion warrants a conversation comparing the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, because these two cards are perceived in different ways. The numbers themselves have different energy. 3 is associated with the third Sephira on the Tree of Life. It is associated with, therefore, with the Queens, if you're using those kind of associations. The Great Sea of Binah, powerful feminine energy, the top of the Pillar of Severity, which goes by other names as well too, but the queenly pillar. And this strength that is used to create and to build comes in many ways and comes from an abundance of experience. This could be called the card of the Master. And there's something about the Druid craft that I really like that is quite different from the Waite-Smith deck, where we question who is in power. And in the Waite-Smith deck, the Mason, the artist, is raised up on a bench. I can get that card for you. In case you don't know it. And in this card, there's something kind of special going on in that I see the 3 on the right almost in awe of the skill and the power of the artist that we see in the midground. And that cat. So I'm thinking the cat resonates with, is tapping into the warmth that this artist is creating through his energy. If you look at the Asherah Tarot, the skill and the experience and the wisdom of those spiders create this magnificent piece of art, as does the older gentleman in the Robin Wood Tarot, this sculpture which has this beautiful metal sculpture in the foreground, and the feathers, whether this is a great eagle or an angel. It's the precision and the dedication and the commitment to the craft. Now, what I was getting at in the Waite-Smith deck is there's a pause in the work. The Mason on the left, this card here, in this breath isn't working. The Mason is pausing to have a conversation with the other two. Maybe it's the money and somebody from this church, from organization. And he's not under his own agency, autonomy, something like that. It is it's quite a different energy. And yet, in this Three of Pentacles, like in the Wild Unknown, hi Arya, welcome, we do see the two shapes of triangles, upward facing and downward facing. So there's something about having both a receptive quality and a strength in order to create something magnificent. And I feel that in Empress energy. This particular decan also is the Queen of Pentacles with Golden Dawn associations. And so there is a quiet wisdom, a quiet inner knowing that is very much a part of this energy. And I know that some tarologists would say that this is the Master card. The Eight of Pentacles is the Apprentice card. And perhaps I'll wait on that discussion until I get to the Eight of Pentacles. So let's look at the other pip cards. And I alluded to this earlier. So this is the Crystal Tarot. And what I see here is the third pentacle appearing through the earth. It's like we have all this energy below, and from the two comes the third. It takes a lot of strength, energy in general, in order for the seed to open and the plant to begin to grow and to pierce the ground. I know, and I don't want to get ahead of the conversation, so I will contrast and compare these cards when I get to the Eight of Pentacles. And this also connects me to the energy of what's going on in Aries season and then Taurus season. So the Aries cards, Aries is ruled by Mars, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is an earth sign and Aries is a fire sign. And so early in the spring, sorry, shaking my table here, early in the spring, a lot of action, strength is required to till the soil, to prepare the soil. If the soil were not tilled, it may be harder for the seeds to find their way to the surface. I mean, they always will find their way, but there's something about the force that is required, all of that fiery energy in early spring. And so when I think about the strength of these two pentacles below, and then that third one emerges, it really sits well with me. And to add to that conversation, this is a Martial Decan. So the previous Decan, Two of Pentacles, that mini wheel card, mini change card, is an expansion card. It's Jupiter. And here we take that strength and we truly emerge and find a purpose and do some great work. All these layers really help to build a story, to weave a story. Now, when I look at the Tarot of the Ozarks, or Tarot de Ozar, Laurie LePage, this one feels like, and I can hear an expression, it has to do with ripeness, plums. These are very plums. Oh, it was from a movie. Anyway, it just looks ripe and ready for the picking. Perfectly ripe fruit. This is a card that symbolizes the near readiness of the birth of your project. Now, these pentacles are in the shape of a receptive triangle, which connects me to feminine energy, Empress energy. And they are red. They are martial red. They are active red. So in that way, this card, through the use of color, does something similar to the masculine, powerful, barren mountain peak here, with the receptive triangle of the 3 pentacles below. So I just invite you to, a lot of people struggle with pip cards, but there is so much if you know what to look for. It's kind of brilliant. And yet in this card, we don't have that red color, but we have the force of the upward facing triangle. And Arya also reminds us that that is why the spring rains are so important, because that assists in softening the soil for the emerging plant life. So there's different ways to express the same story, and you will always choose the perfect deck for whomever you are speaking to. And then I suppose, this is a card that has a lot of hidden symbols in it. The darkness, the blackness in the background could also symbolize the darkness of the womb, connects us to receptive feminine energy. And we see in the foreground the building. And these layers, I think, are important to just pause and contemplate. For me, the 3s are that place where, if you think of, I'll use pregnancy as an example, right? It's like you're in your 3rd trimester, close to the end, and you are ready to burst. It's extremely uncomfortable. I feel like the 3 of Pentacles is that place. And we know what happens if we don't pick that ripe fruit. It will spoil. So there's going to be just the right metaphor for you in the deck that you choose. I do have another card on the table here, or 2 maybe. I've shown you quite a few cards from the Neon Tarot. I think this is also quite clever. We have 3 coins inside the vessel, and the vessel is the receptive shape, as well as the coins are in the receptive shape, and the colors are just so stunning and beautiful. So I could definitely work with this energy as well to expand and describe what this represents. So in summary, well, we could also talk about Capricorn. This 2, 3, and 4 of Pentacles are in the element of earth, and that all that is manifest in this place where we are responsible for responsible for our life on this earth. And at the beginning of the suit, the effort is so important. The intention as well. And it's the work for the right reasons, the setting of intention for certainly. So where I'm going with this is this Capricorn major arcana is the devil. And so we need to make good choices here and take good care along the way. The Queen of Pentacles is the final decan of Sag, and the 2 and the 3 of Pentacles. So the nurturing is very important. And the nurturing, it's funny, I've been sharing lots of poetry from this book and this series by Lloyd Hageland. This particular card is called Nurturing. It has a connection with Empress and Queen of Pentacles and this 3. So this is a very rich 3. Oh, I remember the movie. The movie was World War II. And who was the actor who played Voldemort in Harry Potter? Very famous actor. Oh my goodness. I can see the scene, and it was he who said, "These are very plums." If you'll know the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. So this is a luscious and rich card. It is one of also a level of dedication and experience and it's almost like there's an inner knowing of how well one can do the work. You feel the energy. And I think it's kind of funny. The cat rubbing against the back of, yes, Ralph Fiennes. Yes. I may come back and share this movie in a subsequent episode when I think of the name. But the energy of the cat, the heat that is being created in order to produce the 3. And like I was saying here, this same heat that is required for the seed to emerge. Yeah. Okay, so for today, my top 5 3 of Pentacles cards. That's really tricky. I do like the Lumina for these layers. I think it's clever the way it builds on the energy. And the Master. I mean, I could choose Druidcraft. I could choose Robin Wood. I think the Robin Wood card is so unique in that there is only one figure in this image. Oh my goodness. Look more closely at this card. Do you see the cup? How the plants make the shape of the cup? This is brilliant. This one also has that receptive and active energy simultaneously on the card. So let's go for this one with the two energies. And then wow. I don't know. I'm going to go with the Neon Tarot. I don't know. Wow. I really like all of these cards that I'm sharing with you today. Maybe I'll pick Druidcraft as well. I think it has something that the Robin Wood doesn't. And like I was saying, I really appreciate the way the onlookers gaze at the experience of this master craftsman. And then that cat adds so much lovely detail here. Okay, so left to right, these are Robin Wood, and then Druidcraft. In the center is the Lumina. And then with the spiders, that's the Ashera Tarot by Sarah Wheatley. And then the Crystal Tarot, which does have a border. I've trimmed it. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will be back shortly for the Four of Pentacles. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.